Hello everyone, today's video is all about VAT and Brexit, specifically a opportunity for VAT registered businesses who are making supplies of services to make a few quid. So here's how it works. So just to recap, the basic rule on business to consumer sales, that's B2C sales, from a VAT perspective, it all depends on where is the supplier based. So the supply based from the UK, if you're a UK business supplying overseas customers, B2C sale, so UK tax is applicable. However, the legislation says that if you are making B2C supplies to customers outside of the EU, then you don't have to charge UK VAT. It's outside the scope. So let's take me for example. So I'm an accountant. Let's say I was doing some consultancy work for a client in Dubai. The default position is that the supplier, i.e. me, is based in the UK. So first of all, de facto VAT is in play, but then we look to the VAT rules that say because the customer, the consumer is outside the EU, that's outside the scope of VAT. So if I'm charging a client in Dubai for my services, that is free of VAT. So I do not add VAT to the invoice, even though I'm a UK-based business. Now, what's happened with Brexit from the 1st of January is that territorial scope has been extended. So before the 1st of January, in the same situation, if I had a French client that I was doing some consultancy for, I would add UK VAT to that invoice. If it was, remember, B2C, straight to consumer, business to business is different, but let's not get into that. But business to consumer, consultancy work, French individual plus VAT. To a Dubai individual, no VAT. But from the 1st of January, because of Brexit, we're no longer in the EU. So going forward, you no longer would have to charge VAT in that scenario to the French customer, as well as don't have to charge it to the Dubai customer. So there's an opportunity here for businesses who are making supplies of these professional services like consultancy, like accountancy or legal services, that you could say to your customers that are in the EU. In the past, you'd have always charged them UK plus UK VAT, which they would have suffered because they couldn't claim it back because they're not registered, because they're consumers. So let's take an invoice for £1,000 plus VAT to a French customer on the 31st of December. So that would have cost them in real terms £1,200. £1,000 plus 20% VAT, £1,200. They couldn't claim the VAT back. But going forward, you only need to charge them £1,000. You don't have to add the VAT. However, you can negotiate with these customers and share the VAT savings with them. It's an opportunity to increase your fees, because you could say, look, I no longer need to charge you VAT, but I want to increase my prices. But it's a win-win situation. Let's say you said to the French customer, look, £1,000 invoice used to cost you £1,200 really, because I used to have to add 20% VAT. Going forward, I'm going to increase my price to £1,100, but it's only going to cost you £1,100. So you, as the supplier, or me, whoever we're talking about here, is making that supply of services to the Frenchman £100 more to the bottom line, but the French customer is saving £100 because they're only being charged £1,100 instead of £1,200. So it potentially a win-win situation here following Brexit for supplies of services to customers in the EU. So do think about that if you're in this space. It's quite a limited space actually in terms of these types of services, basically around those that I've listed: consultancy, accountancy, legal services. But if you're in that sphere, then yes, you could make a few quid on negotiating with the customers and upping the prices. There is a caveat to this. If the EU country has what is known as a use and enjoyment provision, which means that if they deem whatever you are supplying to their citizens that they somehow use and enjoy it within the EU territory, then you have to register for VAT in that country and charge that foreign VAT. Now, you just have to do a bit of research on this depending on which countries you are. So, for example, Spain does not have this so-called use and enjoyment override, because if you did have to incur this, then these savings that I've just said will be mitigated. But thankfully, a lot of the EU countries do not have this use and enjoyment override for receiving professional services. It doesn't seem that it's obviously that enjoyable. That's why they don't invoke this bit of VAT legislation. But there you go. So if you're making supplies of professional services from the UK to consumers, not businesses, to consumers in the EU, now is an opportunity post-Brexit to increase your fees by sharing the VAT savings with your EU customers. If you like this video, do subscribe here, and I will see you soon.